All right, everybody with us?
Yep.
Everybody comfy and cozy and in a good spot?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I got my book here. We are reading chapter 4. And we've kind of ping-ponged back and forth between different perspectives. Chase is, the last chapter was from Chase's perspective, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, Chase's perspective. And he is really just trying to figure out who he was. He's kind of getting a little frustrated by it. And it ends with him in the principal's office. I'm going to reread the last
Paragraph.
I'm gonna reread the last 3 paragraphs, okay? So remember, he's been pulled into the principal's office. He's gone to school for the first day, and he's trying to figure out how to talk to everyone that he doesn't remember. So this is from the principal.
Question.
The principal's. Yeah, was there a question, William? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I said because of his concussion.
Oh yes, because of yes, you're exactly right. All right. Dr. Fitzwallace. This is from Dr. Fitzwallace. One more thing. He leans back in his chair, and when he speaks again, it's slowly and carefully, as if he's trying to get his words exactly right. This is an awful thing that's happened to you, but it's also presenting you with a rare opportunity. You have the chance to rebuild yourself from the ground up, to make a completely fresh start. Don't squander it. I'm sure you're not feeling very lucky, but there are millions of people who'd give anything to stand where you stand right now, in front of a completely blank canvas. I stare back at my principal. What is he talking about? I'm struggling to discover the person I was, and he wants me to change? What was so wrong about the old me that I now have to be someone else? So that's the very end of chapter 3. And let's start off chapter 4. We're coming from the perspective of Brendan Espinoza. He's the student who's at the other school. The impressive breadth and diversity of wildlife in the modern middle school is on display nowhere more than in the lunchroom. Here we see the species Cheerleaderus, Maximus grazing in her native habitat, the salad bar. I focus on Brittany Vandervelde and Letitia Butts as they make their delicate selection of lettuce, cucumber, and tomato slices. As I shoot, I balance the flip camera on my forearm to keep it steady. Everything looks better on YouTube when the camera work isn't all jumpy. A long-time glance in the direction of the pizza table. A longing glance in the direction of the pizza table. I continue my narration. But alas, it is not to be. For cheerleaders, this meal is garnished with a radish rose and a fat-free dressing. And wait! I pull back the shot to include Jordan McDaniel heading out of the food line with a heavily laden tray. Could it be? Yes, a rare Clumsius faldownus, weaving his way to the nearest table. You can do it, Clumsius. Uh-oh, there goes the soup and that orange rolling across the floor. Oh man, this stuff just writes itself. Who needs a script when you've got real life? And now we leave the relative safety of the food line and venture into the lion's den. I go on, panning over to the corner table where Aaron Hageman and Bear Bradsky and some of their football buddies are eating too much and laughing too loud. This is the land of the carnivores, where lesser animals fear to tread. Don't I know it? I'm filming on maximum zoom, and even though it's bound to be a little blurry, I sure don't intend to go any closer and get fed my own video camera. But where is their leader? The apex predator. Could that be him, paying for a pack of Fig Newtons at the cash register? Yes, it is. The king of the beasts. Footballus Herosis. The thunderous footsteps striking terror in the hearts of all creatures, great and small. Watch him make his majestic way to, as I pan my flip camera to follow Chase Ambrose's path to his football buddies, he disappears from the frame. I frown. He's not going over there. He's heading somewhere else. I get him back into the shot and struggle to continue my voiceover. But wait, Mighty Footballus has changed directions. He's taking his mighty self to a different table for reasons known only to his supreme mightiness. He's coming. Oh my God. He's coming here. I whip the camera away fast enough to leave a trail of burnt air hanging in the cafeteria. He's right opposite me, larger than life, holding his tray over my table. Why is Chase Ambrose coming anywhere near lowly me? Does he know I'm making fun of him and his friends in a YouTube video? If so, I'm dead. And no ifs, ands, or buts. My last interaction with him was the time he and his co-Neanderthals stood me against a tetherball pole and then played an intense game, the rope whipping around me until I was trussed up like a turkey. I'd probably still be there if the sanitation workers hadn't come to empty the dumpster that day. Actually, I'm lucky I wasn't in the dumpster. Those jerks bullied Joel Weber so badly that his folks finally sent him to a boarding school. I'm going to pause. I made a mistake. I got the perspectives mixed up. This is a new character, Brandon Espinoza. Is anyone sitting here? Chase asks. I glance up, expecting to get a full face of something. He's standing there, looking like he's never laid eyes on me before. My mind screams, "Red alert! Red alert!" But aloud I say, help yourself. He takes a seat and then actually spreads his napkin across his lap, just like a civilized person. Although I look down at my own lap, there's no napkin there. And probably none of anyone on the cafeteria either. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Unless, could the rumors be true? It was the biggest news in town that the great Chase Ambrose fell off his roof and landed on his head this summer. You can still see the cuts and scrapes on his face and his arms in a sling, but the gossip around school is that the guy actually has amnesia. He doesn't remember anything from before the accident. I thought it was just a rumor, but what other explanation could there be for why he's sitting here with me instead of with his football friends? And acting like a human being, no less. My video on hold, I turned back to eating, and let me tell you, that's not easy when you're sitting across from the apex predator, amnesia or not. I read that some amnesia is temporary. If it all comes back to him, I could have my entire egg salad sandwich shoved up my nose just for daring to be near him. Then I noticed that he's struggling to saw away at the barbecue chicken breast. The dull plastic utensils don't make it easy, especially with one arm immobilized against his chest. He's really working hard at it. Beads of sweat stand out on his brow. I speak the craziest, most full-heartedly words that have ever come out of my mouth. Do you need help with that? No thanks. He keeps on sighing, getting nowhere, his frustration growing. I still can't explain why I do it. I get up, loop around the table, and approach Chase from behind. It's easier when both arms work. He battles a moment longer and then gives in with a sigh. Maybe I could use a hand. So there I am in the middle of the cafeteria, hunched over the apex predator, cutting up his chicken. At one point, Shoshana Weber passes by and shoots me a look that perfectly combines shock, amazement, and disapproval. Or maybe she's just trying to figure out why I'm sawing at his meat instead of his carotid artery. I finish, put down the knife, and hand him back the fork. Thanks, he says sheepishly. No big deal. I return to my side of the table, sit down, and hit the floor hard. A chorus of raucous laughter explodes all around me. That's when I notice I'm surrounded by football players. Bear puts my chair down on top of me, trapping me underneath it. Chase, man, you're at the wrong table, Aaron exclaims. Come with us. We saved you a spot. They practically kidnap him and drag him to the lion's den. A few seconds later, the chair is lifted off me and someone hauls me to my feet. Chase. Sorry, he says, looking uncomfortable. Come on, man, over here, comes a volley of shouts. He hesitates. They're your teammates and your best friends, I tell him, because maybe he doesn't remember. Right. If I didn't know any better, I think he wasn't that thrilled with the idea. Back in my seat, I take out my camera and realize that the video has been running the whole time. There's no picture, obviously, but the audio is all there. I might listen to it later just to prove to myself that I've had a close enough encounter with Chase Ambrose and lived to tell the tale. Chapter 5, Chase Ambrose. We'll stop right there. Any questions or closing comments before we get out of here? Or any questions about the book? I see a couple of hands. So if you got, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know what you're thinking.
I was saying that was very good.
You liked it? William, what did you like specifically about it? I'm curious to hear your perspective.
Well, I wouldn't say like it was pretty cool, but I would say it was kind of emotional
It does feel a little bit emotional, doesn't it?
because but like before chapter 5 just now, he said he felt hard on the ground, and then almost everywhere around him he had laughter. Everybody was laughing at him.
Yeah, it's got to really hurt his feelings, right? No one was offering to help him. And then who at the very end helps him?
Chase.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy? The one character who apparently would be the worst one picking on people is actually the only person that comes back and helps them. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where the rest of this book goes. I think one thing that makes me so interested in this story is that the characters and the setting, the situations are so unique, right? Like, I just imagine, what if I forgot my memory and what would my life be like? Or what if someone that I knew lost their memory, like one of my really close friends, right? I just wonder, like, what would life be like if you had to kind of teach them who they were? I don't know. I'm really interested in it. When I hang up with you guys, I'm going to upload chapter 4 to YouTube, and I'm going to read chapter 5 and chapter 6. So we got the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, a chapter a day. And then on Monday, we will read chapter 7. Okay? Sound good?
Yep.
All right, you guys. I
Okay.
want to go ahead and record those today. It's snowing a lot where I'm at, so I'm obviously not going to be spending much time outside.
Oh my God.
It's already sticking to the ground here, so that is crazy. It is April 17th, and it is snowing enough to stick on the ground. So I might go ahead and read all the way to chapter we might read chapter 5 and 6 right after this. So if you want to listen to it this afternoon, I'll try to have them uploaded before 3 o'clock. Okay.
I have a connection.
Oh, share those connections. Let's hear it.
So my grandmother likes the story because like she sits in the living room while I'm in the kitchen listening to you read, and we've been reading the stories on our TV, like listening to the stories on our TV while you read them.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you're sharing that experience. David, your hand up?
I don't know.
Oh, just
Just
get a stretching.
stretching.
All right, you guys. Michaela, thank you for sharing that. William, thanks for your thoughts. Everyone else, I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay warm today. It was still good to
Yeah.
see you guys. I'll upload those videos before 3 o'clock today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah, soon.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.